Welcome back to the Results Driven Podcast, where we share not just theory, but the actual tactics that are working in our very own real estate business today and today's market. We pride ourselves on giving you actionable content that you can take from listening to this exact podcast and implementing in your business right away. So with that being said, today we have a really fun topic. We're going to be talking about good debt versus bad debt. Now, if you were raised anything like me, you were probably raised growing up thinking that debt was bad. It was something to avoid at all costs. I used to believe that too, until I realized that debt can either be a trap that you set yourself in, or it can be something that sets you free. It all depends exactly on how you use it. Let's talk about how investors can use debt as a tool and not a trap. And the first thing that we have to do is we have to make sure that we understand the difference between what exactly is good debt and what is bad debt. So let's focus on bad debt first. Bad debt takes money out of your pocket. It fuels consumption. This is, to give you some examples, it's where you go and you get a loan to buy a car, or you get a loan to go on vacation, or you get a loan for lifestyle upgrades, or maybe you buy a boat. Those are all liabilities. Ultimately, there's no ROI, there's no long-term wealth tied to it. A lot of those liabilities also depreciate over time. Whereas good debt puts money back in your pocket. It fuels income-producing assets or scalable operations. It increases cash flow. It increases efficiency or velocity of money. It might feel a little scary for the short term, but it creates freedom long term. So big picture, bad debt takes money out of our pocket, and it fuels the purchase of something that will depreciate over time and depreciate quickly, versus good debt is something that, yes, I might lose some capital now, but it puts money back in my pocket, whether it's cash flow over a period of time or quicker chunks through operational upgrades. So let's talk about what debt looks like in real estate investing. So there's two different types of debt. There's deal funding, and then there's operational funding. So deal funding is where you're going to go and look to get a loan to take down a deal. This could be a fix and flip. This could be a wholesale. This could be a rental property. And there's a ton of different products and different ways that we can raise funds to take down our specific deal. Now, I always like to look at how Tiff and I got started. And when you look at our journey, the first 6 months we were in the business, we were learning marketing, we were learning sales, and it took us about 6 months to get our first deal. When we got our first deal, we leveraged other people's money. We found a private money lender that gave us the purchase price, that gave us the estimated repairs, and then we were able to leverage their money to do that deal. Now, fast forward 12 months after that, we were able to complete 40 deals. At that point in time, not only did we not have the funds to do one deal, but we sure didn't have the funds to do 40 deals. So if we were focused on, debt is bad, debt is not a good thing, and we didn't leverage deal funding, we would have never been able to take on those 40 flips. Those 40 flips fueled the growth to get to 165 the year after that. So think about that for a moment. If we had the mindset of debt is bad, not only do we not do our first deal, but we don't do the 40 after that, and it would never set us up for the 165 for the 12 months after that. And then what happened after the year of 165, we did 300 the year after that. So when you look at how fast we were able to grow and really take off with this business, none of that would have been possible without deal funding and good debt. Now, operational funding. This is something that's also really important. Again, operational funding being something that funds hiring people, marketing initiatives, marketing strategies, could be the tools, the processes, the procedures that we're implementing in our business. All of these things should make things more efficient, should magnify our results. And when we invest into those things, the question is, could it bring an ROI? Should it bring an ROI? And the answer to that is yes. That is good debt. If I can go and borrow capital to get my operation off the ground or help me grow my operation quickly, that is something that would bring an ROI, would increase our cash flow, would increase our deal flow. And that, by definition, is good debt. One thing that we did really early on to help us fast track our results was we maxed out credit cards to jump into educational programs. We knew that there was this component of we don't know what we don't know. and we didn't want to go through the tax of figuring it out on our own. We knew that there would probably be mistakes, and when it comes to making a mistake on a flip in real estate, that could be very costly. So we wanted to make sure that we were doing things the right way and we had proper guidance. And so we were excited. We were happy to invest into these coaching programs. And when we did those things over the years, we continuously got bigger, faster, stronger, and we were able to grow at the rate that I had just shared with you all because we valued copying and pasting what other people were doing that was working for them versus us trying to figure it out and do it all ourselves. All right, so here's 5 simple questions that you can ask yourself in order to identify if debt is good. First and foremost, does it generate or support cash flow? Secondly, will it increase capacity, efficiency, or scalability? Third, can I clearly measure an ROI on the spend? 4, is there a clear exit or repayment strategy? 5, am I borrowing out of fear or strategy? If you can't say yes to at least 3 of these, it's likely bad debt disguised as an opportunity. So here's some closing thoughts. Debt doesn't define you. How you use it does. In the hands of a technician or someone who wants to do everything and have control, debt builds stress. In the hands of the entrepreneur, someone who is excited about leverage and leverages debt the right way, debt builds wealth. So make sure that you audit your debt. Is it creating opportunity? Is it creating empowerment, or is it creating stress and anxiety? Remember that every business that scales does it through smart leverage. So ask yourself, is there an opportunity in your business to take on more deal funding? Is there an opportunity for you to leverage operational funding so you can get to your end goal faster? And that's a wrap for today's episode. Thank you for tuning in to the Results Driven Podcast again, where we share exactly what strategies are working in the trenches in today's real estate investing market. Make sure that you tune into our next episode and make sure that you are staying results driven.